Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me. Start a conversation. It's in the description below, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a 42.2mm stainless steel 100-piece limited edition launched in honor of IWC sponsorship of the 2013 Tribeca Film Festival. This is the IWC Portugieser Automatic Tribeca Film Festival Special Edition. Technically, it's reference 5001-26, and as you can see, it is a substantial watch. 42.2 millimeters in diameter, the watch measures a reasonable 14.3 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug, 50.7 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and the size is appropriate, as since 1939 in the original reference 325, the IWC Portuguese has been the original oversized watch in the space. It's designed to wear big, and big is the look. I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters in circumference. You can see that over the top shot, it's approaching the edge of my wrist, and here, the lugs curve down and around. They look good even as they approach the edge of your wrist. They don't stick out sharply or stridently, but I still think 15 centimeters is the smallest wrist to wear this watch. Taking a look at the hardware and the software, it's nicely executed as the strap itself is a very dark navy blue. There is some bolstering or stuffing to add volume and substance. The leather is thick. There's a sheer cut on the side, so you can see the layers of leather. There's a monotone stitch, and you can see on the underside there is calf skin, and this is a brand new IWC factory strap. Large rectangular scale alligator leather, the most expensive kind, combined with an IWC deployant clasp that you can see is a combination of satin and polish externally with media blasting internally. That's your security against dropping the watch while donning or removing at bedside. The case band is all satin finished. The lug hoods are polished, and you can see that the watch has a characteristic of vintage watches in that the mid case is very thin. The case back is also stepped back a little bit, so on the wrist the watch doesn't appear quite as thick as it is. You can also see that the bezel is somewhat stepped in from the satin finished case band. It goes vertical and then it goes concave. So that terminal side of the bezel where it abuts the crystal is concave to visually pair the mass. That's a trick we see oftentimes with Patek Philippe watches. Simple IWC Probus Scafusia watch, the logo and the motto of the company all in one. IWC calls this ardoise, or essentially a nickel anthracite silver metallic, more gray metallic, or slate metallic sunburst dial. All of the traditional Portuguese features are here, with the primary exception that we get a power reserve indicator for the 7-day power reserve, and the small seconds relocated from the traditional Portuguese 6 o'clock over to 9 o'clock. There is a date. The watch does feature applique numerals as well as indices outboard, and those Arabic numerals specifically recall the very first Portuguesers. So do the leaf style or feuille hands, a handsome burgundy used for each of the slightly sunken subregisters, and these feature a little bit of an azurage pattern to them, with all of the printing being white on burgundy or white on ardoise for high contrast. Now, the watch does feature a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can set it against a reference time. And to speed the process of resetting the date, there is a quick set, so you can rapidly set it. And I think for aesthetic reasons, we'll settle on 6. Turn the case over. There is a solid gold medallion celebrating that year's Tribeca Film Festival, as well as notation that this watch is one of only 100 made. The 42-jewel automatic movement, the 51011, is the world's largest automatic caliber, and it's an in-house caliber from IWC. Like a high horology watch or chronometer, it's adjusted in 5 positions, and for shock tolerance, it features a free-sprung index and an overcoil hairspring to allow it to keep excellent time in any orientation on the wrist. The timepiece, of course, beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It has a big old balance with a high mass, and the winding system is the bidirectional pawl-based and highly shock-tolerant IWC Peloton system, invented in the late 40s and industrialized in the early 50s by IWC watchmaker Albert Peloton. You can see that it includes here ceramic pawls, which reduce the previous dirt on the movement condition that was often associated with the Peloton system. No longer, thanks to the ceramic pawls. There's a pawl wheel adjacent. That's how it winds bidirectionally. And of course, it has a 168-hour power reserve with a diameter of approximately 37 millimeters. The movement in this watch watch is bigger than a standard Rolex Datejust. It's 30 meters water resistant, so it's not a sports watch, but it's rare, it's beautiful, and it is core IWC. If you're going to buy an IWC, just one, get yourself a Pilot or a Portugieser. And among the Portugiesers, they don't come much finer than this. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.